What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I kind of you guys today because we're going to be taking a look at my red hybrid deck. So I built red hybrid for this week's tournament, and funny enough, everyone for the most part at the tournament today, tournament yesterday, was playing red hybrid. It was like 4 red hybrid decks. It was Machine Dramon and uh what was it? Machine Dramon, Red Hybrid, 4 Red Hybrids, a Machine Dramon, Satcon, and what was that other one? Omegamon Ultra S. Just funny enough. So my only win actually was against Omegamon Ultra S, because the guy, ironically enough, was honestly just built the deck himself. So he was still trying to work out the kinks of it, which is funny enough because I was working out the kinks of my deck. And surprisingly, despite that I only have that one win, the deck was consistent enough in some way, but it has a bit of issues, which I will talk about in today's video. So, yeah, why don't we go ahead and we just go into the red hybrid. So, starting off are 4 copies of my Digitama, which is Koromon from Bt-14. So, yeah, this is the Koromon from Blast Aces. Then we're going to move on into the deck itself. So let's start off with our rookies, because that is honestly, funny enough, the majority of the deck itself. So I'm running 4 copies of Flamon from BT4, followed by 4 copies of Flamon from BT12, and then 4 copies of Gatsumon, then 2 copies of Pokemon, and 2 copies of Maymon. So that is it for the rookies. For the champions, the level 4s, I'm running 4 copies of Agumon from BT12. Then I'm running 4 copies of BT12's Burning Greymon, as well as 4 copies of BT7's Burning Greymon. I don't know if there's a BT. Um, there probably is a BT7 Agumon. I don't have it, so that's why it's not here. And then the only level 5 in deck is 4 copies of BT7's Ultimon. Fun fact, I had just ordered these. There is a BT12 Ultimon, and it's actually a lot better than this Ultimon. So it will be coming in the mail, and I will just say this now, that BT12 Ultimon will be replacing this BT7 Ultimon. Alright, and then last, for the Digimon themselves is, ironically enough, the big guy himself, Emperorgreymon. Yeah, and I only have these 2 Emperorgreymon. The one on the left is BT12's Emperorgreymon, and then the one on the right is BT7's Emperorgreymon, and that's the alt art for that Burning Greymon. And I only have one of each. I'll explain more to that after. So, alright. So, that is it for the Digimon in the main deck. For the Tamers, it's only 2. I'm running 4 copies of Takuya for BT12 and 4 copies of Takuya from BT7. Then, for my option cards, I am running 4 copies of Crimson Blaze, and then 4 copies of Atomic Inferno. That's Aldemon's signature attack. So, alright, that is basically all of it for the lineup. So let's go ahead and go through it. So, starting off is to talk about my Digitama of choice, and that is Koromon. So, I don't have Yokomon, which might have been the better call. But from what I was told, I think this is just as good as an option for it, because every time a card is removed from your opponent's security stack, draw 1 card. So because you're going to be doing this often, because this deck is supposed to be very aggro, and I rarely play aggro decks. I'm just gonna just say that right now. So this is a lot of new for me when it comes to talking about red hybrid. But yeah, from what I've seen online, this and Yokomon are the 2 Digitama that I recommended for it. So I just went with the Koromon because I pulled so many of these from Bt-14. So yeah, I went with this Koromon because of the every time your opponent a card is removed from your opponent's security stack, you draw one card. Then let's go into the actual Digimon themselves. So let's talk. Let's start off with the white, and that is Pokemon and Namon. So Pokemon and Namon are really good for hybrid decks. And I've seen a lot of decks now integrate Pokemon and Namon. It's also because I don't have any of the Upamon, but I just received some Upamon and I can't wait to talk about those separately because there's a special thing for that. Now, with Pokemon and Namon, Namon's effect is that you can play one tamer from your hand that has an inherit effect without paying memory cost on play, and then during all turns, when one of your Digimon that has a tamer in its evolution sources is deleted, you can play one of the tamers in your cache without paying the memory cost. So basically, you get to replay that tamer again and then activate all of its play effects. This is really good for a lot of tamers, especially the hybrid tamers, because they have a lot of effects that trigger. Or you have tamers like TK, and you can easily just, activate his effects, flush through your security, and then security control setup there. Then here we are with Pokemon who on play reveal top sidecars for your deck to add one card with hybrid 10 warriors in its trait and in one tamer among them. So of course that helps flush out more of your type hybrids in your 10 warrior cards as well as one of your tamers. And then you have the once a turn during your turn when one of your tamers digivolves, you gain 2 memories. So that basically just pays out for itself. These are really good for hybrid decks when it comes to setting up for your tamers and getting your tamers together. All right, now moving on from those guys. Because it's funny that Pokemon and Namon were in Digimon Frontier, and this deck is basically supporting Takuya, who was the who was the leader of that series. I was running 4 copies of Datsumon. Datsumon's ability is just like Pillamon's. It's just the red version of it. Players cannot play Digimon by effects. I only really ran into this during the stop. What was it? Oh, I can't remember her name, but she's the Nokia, because it stopped a Gabumon from coming into play because she came into play. Other than that, I really didn't have ran into the other decks because it was just such a small tournament, so we didn't. This list was very small itself, but yeah, this is basically just a good measurement of this. It's a really good card. It's just that this deck is supposed to be aggro, so it's supposed to just push into things. And because of how hybrids are played themselves, there's not too many things that um, can really counter out hybrid unless they just stop memory gain outside from gaining memory from the tamers. But this is a good option of things if you're playing with dealing with dark animal, dealing with a lot of I think even yellow vaccine because I play Digimon through effects as well. So this is just that option for it. I was told that I was supposed to actually run this flame mod in the deck as well because this is the one that on play you reveal top 4 cards of your deck to add one card with hybrid in its traits, one card with Sanomon, or one Takuya uh, among them from your to your hand, and you put the rest at the bottom of your deck. So it's just supposed to help you flush out um, for all your pieces for your hybrid setup. So, yeah, that was the 4 of them. Then, all right, we go into the Flamon that I actually were running in the deck. So I was running BT4 Flamon and BT 12 Flamon. Which I believe, yeah. So this is the one that on play you trash your Digimon with hybrid in its trait, and then you draw 2, and then you have the Flamon, and on play you reveal the top 3 cards you deck to add one Digimon with hybrid from it, and or one red tamer among them to your hand. So this is basically to help you get Takuya in one of your hybrids as fast as possible, and then you have this one who can dump with hybrid and then draw 2 cards. You can easily dump other Flamon or copies of itself from the hand and then be able to draw 2. Um, to flush out the hand correction, get to your pieces, and then be able to start dropping your hybrids as soon as possible. Because, funny enough, the next Digimon we're going to talk about is the only one that I was recommended to play, and that was a Gumimon, who can be played off of a Red Tamer um, with Takuya in its name. as a level 3. Then on deletion, you can play a Flamon from your hand, suspend it without playing the memory cost. So you have a ton of on play effects from your Flamon, so that's why you rush into this. And then just the fact that it's an easy setup for Takuya. And since you're running two different variants of Takuya, you want to drop those Takuyas as soon as possible. You have the one that is the memory gain, and then you have the one that goes into the Emperorgreymon. Um, I don't know what the BT7's Agunimon does. I think I ordered a set of BT7 Agunimon, so hopefully those do come soon. But I'm not entering next week's tournament because of some other things. So I'll still have some time to actually flesh out this deck and finish it around. So, all right, that is the Agunimon. And then let's talk about the Burning Greymon. So I was recommended to run both of these, and both of these are really, really good at Burning Greymon. I know he's called something else. He's not burning Greymon because there are cards that talk about Greymon and they don't include this guy because his name in Japanese is a different name. But the one to the left is from BT7, and that's the one that just like the Kazemon, the Zephyrmons and stuff. If you have a card that already has a Digimon that has a chamber under it already, you can just Digivolve into this card. So it's basically just a free Digivolve for one memory and then draw one. But it can also Digivolve from the Tamer um, and have it as a level 3 Digimon at a cost of 2 memory. So when Digivolving, if you have a card with Hybrid in its traits or Takuya, this Digimon will delete a Digimon on your opponent's side of the field with 4k DP or less. So that's just to clear out the little weenies and stuff. And then you have the other Burning Greymon, who can come into play just like the others off of someone. And then off of a Gunimon, it's a Digivolve of 1. And then when Digivolving, this card gains 2k DP. The inheritable is that if this card has 10 hybrid or warrior in its traits, plus 2k DP. You just have just beaters. You have a beater in one, and then you have a removal card in the other. So, the Burning Greymon. And then moving into the Aldermon. So this is something I didn't know till I started looking up the Aldermon. Now, there are two variations of Aldermon. There's the Aldermon from BT7, and there's the Aldermon from BT12. And had I known the BT12 Aldermon was a thing, I would have picked up the BT12 Aldermon. Now, this Aldermon says that if the card has a tamer under it, it's just like Jet Selfimon. You can reduce the memory cost paid for this Digivolution by 2. Then when Digivolving, if you have a card with inherited in its trait, with hybrid in its traits, you can have this Digimon gain 4k DP. So it'll be 12k DP swinging at things. And then it's inheritable, gives a Digimon with hybrid or two warriors in its trait. It's unaffected by the security effects of option cards in your opponent's security. So it protects it from the option card security effects and any security abilities that will happen from those option cards, which is great. And it's just supposed to be a 12k smack. I think more so you're just building up with the different abilities or different hybrid setups from the other hybrid cards so that you can take out your opponent with ease. But yeah, the one for BT12, that's the one that I'm actually quite shocked about not running because it has the ability similar to one of the burning to the Takuya where you can play it from your hand by placing hybrids under it and then automatically play it as a level 3 as a level 4 setup. So yeah, I definitely want to be running those once I get them. Thankfully, I was looking for it. I was like, oh, it's a different Aldermon. Oh, and it's a lot better. Yay. So then we have the two Burning Greymon. Emperorgreymon. So the Emperorgreymon to the left is the one from BT7. So this is the one that on play gains Blitz, which it's going to swing at your opponent once it comes into play. Then its other effect is during your turn, once a turn, when this Digimon is blocked, I can then suspend it, gain a memory for each Digivolution that this card has under it with hybrid in its traits. And because of how the other Takuya works, it's going to have at least 5 variants of hybrids under it, if that's the case. Otherwise, it's going to have its normal 3 to 4, which is good too. So it can give me about 4 memory and then swing at my opponent and still probably put it back to The other Emperorgreymon gets a security attack +1. Then on Digivolution, I can delete one of my opponent's Digimon with 6k DP or less. And then if this card has a red tamer in it, Digivolution sources, I can delete one of my opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to this card. So I believe how this is worded, someone can probably correct me in the comment section, is that because of all the DP gain that I'll gain from all the other effects of the hybrids are under this card, I guess it's the total sum of that once it comes into play, it will delete that Digimon or less. So as long as I have Takuya under it, it should be perfectly fine to delete something really big. If I get the chance to delete something that big, then its deletion effect if I can play a Takuya from my hand or trash without paying the memory cost. So it just resets to Takuya. This is why I do need more of these so that I can have more Emperorgreymon to come into play because the other Takuya from Bt-14 that once I can easily digivolve into another Emperorgreymon. Alright, so that is it for all of the Digimon there. And then I'm going to go into um, the tamers. So I'm just running two variants of Takuya, and these are technically the only Takuyas in the game. Takuya from Bt-14 is the one that you can play for your memory. For security, and then during your turn, you can place 5 hybrids from your trash under this table in any order to go into Emperorgreymon. And that is basically just to speed up into Emperorgreymon. And then this Takuya is treated as a level 5 Digimon. Its inheritable is that this Digimon gains 2k DP, and then while this Digimon has 10k DP or more, it gains an additional security attack. While the other Takuya is our memory setter, so if you have 2 or less memory, jump your memory to 3. And then its inheritable is that if this Digimon will gain 10k DP, um, will gain 2k DP, and if Digimon has 10k DP or more during your turn, once a turn, if your opponent, when this card checks your opponent's security, gain 2 memory. So it's a memory gainer, it helps check security, um, and then it's able to do all these benefits that I did not know because I'm still learning how to. But yeah, it's basically just the only tamers that you actually need for Red Hybrid. And then moving on from there, of course, there are the two option cards, the Crimson Blaze and the Atomic Inferno. The Atomic Inferno is just basically to make sure that you have a big beat stick to swing into things. One of its biggest positives is that if your opponent tries to block it, you gain 3 memory. So, yeah, that is a really good combo right there. 3k DP plus an additional security attack, and if your opponent blocks, you gain 3 memory. Then we have Crimson Blaze, which is supposed to be a good AoE for deleting Digimon that are 6k DP or less. And it's a freebie if you when you're for the number of cards that your opponent controls. And I believe it's Digimon. Yes, it's Digimon. And then your opponent can't play Digimon by effects until the end of the turn. So it's basically supposed to be a better variant of running the Gatsumon. It's just an option variant that you don't have to run the Gatsumon for. So yeah, it's really two amazing effects. And then the other one, I believe, the security effect, where all your Digimon gain security attack +1 until the end of your next. All right, those are the Atomic Inferno and the cards, and that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Yeah, so that is all for my red hybrid. I definitely will be changing the deck for red hybrid once I get the other cards that hopefully come in the mail because CCG player has been. I've been getting the cards and saying that the cards have been shipped, so I'm just waiting for stuff, and there's still stuff in the mail. I'm still waiting for it to show up. But no, it has been fun. It was very enjoyable. I will have my um was it my tournament recap soon after this, and I'll explain more there. So thanks everybody for watching. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel as it helps me out tremendously. You can hit up my notification. You can hit the notification bell to be informed when I upload more content to the channel. Social media links, they're in the description box below. And with that said and done, thanks everyone for watching. HPJ signing out. Take care.